Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lucky Duck Vids, and today we're going to be discussing the film Django from 1966. This film was filmed and directed by Sergio Corbucci, written by him and his brother Bruno Corbucci and Franco Rossetti, starring Franco Nero as the main character of Django, and Jose Canalejas and Jose Budalo as his main co-stars in the film. Where to begin? This film was came out during a time where spaghetti westerns were saturated. They were all over the place. They were in Italy. They were filming in Spain, Madrid, Rome, and a lot of the times they had to share production lots when they're out filming. A lot of the sets were shared with other spaghetti westerns filming at the same time, which the majority of the time they really didn't clean much of the set, so it would kind of add to the grunge and the muddiness that was in this film, which really set it apart from other films because it really encapsulated the dirtiness that this film wanted to portray, as it as all the motifs and everything that it wanted to portray had to have been displayed. It kind of just added to that. So, getting started with the storyline of the film, squelching across a godforsaken ghost town near the US Mexican border, always dragging a heavy coffin, blue eyed Django, a drifting mud splattered former Union soldier, saves runaway Maria from certain death. But the wooden container with the mysterious content has already caught the attention of the racist ex Confederate officer Major Jackson and his gang of white supremacists. And before long, things get nasty. Now, the guns have the final say, as that weren't enough. Jackson's sworn enemy, General Hugo Rodriguez, and his feared revolutionaries entered the picture wanting to have a piece of the action. And Django, the tech turned stranger with the lightning fast hand, is set to take on two armies of murderous henchmen. Can he live to tell the tale? This is the synopsis of the film, and a lot of the times, this 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 film was banned in a lot of countries due to the violence, particularly in the UK and other European countries, because this film is very violent, and along with the themes that can be considered very, without a sense of the word, controversial for the time. And this film really just set in stone future films and the way that the countless sequels that followed after it were gonna the formula it was gonna follow, and really inspired a lot of other media since its inception. Uh, many different creators found inspiration for the film as because due to its anti-hero and just its where it's rooted from movies like Fistful of Dollars and other westerns at the time that also inspired them. But yeah, going into some trivia for the film, which I found interesting. Franco Nero, the star, was just 25 years old when he appeared in the film, and the makeup was used to make him look older. Now, this what I found very interesting because for me, he kind of looked younger, but just because of the dirt on his face, I suppose he looked like a little older to most people at the time. But yeah, Franco Nero really en- encapsulated the kind of anti-hero vibe that he was trying to portray in that film. Uh, just like his deadpan stare in the majority of the shots, or just his overall demeanor, really carried the character throughout the film. especially that opening shot when he's carrying the coffin, which was actually shot, I believe, at the end of production, where Sergio Corbucci requested Franco Nero to like drag the coffin up a hill, and by the time he got up on that hill, all the production staff had put everything away. That's how long it took him to drag everything up there, but it was well worth the effort because they got a really cool opening. That opening, like, is probably one of the best Western openings one of my favorites, anyways. But yeah. Along with that, we have the title Django, which I found very interesting, is actually a reference to the renowned jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt, who had a crippled hand. Viewers at the time would have been aware of this illusion. But yeah, not to go into any spoilers, but that does come into play where Django's hand is affected. Um, yeah, just that inspiration there. It's like just really makes this film stand out to me. I love it when directors are inspired with the different forms of media, especially like their interests. Like the fact that Sergio saw this guitarist and thought, oh, I can make a western out of it, which is just a it was a really creative decision on his part. Yeah, the scenes in the deserted western town were filmed in the Elio's studios in Rome. Most of the sets were so old that they actually required an expensive renovation to save costs. A smoke machine was used to hide the age of the sets. So that there we go. It's like where a lot of the times movies today have the conventionality of just we've advanced so much when it comes to filmmaking that they really don't require that much, especially with special effects and such. But back then for them that's pretty commemorative. That's pretty it's pretty cool that they were able to achieve that, especially in the '60s when they didn't have much as much as we have today. And according to a Hollywood Reporter interview, Franco Nero bought a copy of Django to the USA and screened it several times in the late 1960s. This means that Django was seen at least by a few people before any of Sergio Leone's iconic westerns, all of which had their first stateside release in 1967. So a lot of Americans were able to see this film before the titular titles such like A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, most of which was exclusive to Italy. So Franco Nero really he knew ball then. He was showing everyone around what was up. Another inspiration that Sergio Corbucci took from was from The Lone Ranger and The Lost City of Gold, both of which came out in 1958, which had a bandit with a red hood for Django, which also had a bandit with a red hood. A lot of the villains in that movie, they all had red hoods, just to make them stand out. In an Italian magazine interview, Sergio Corbucci stated that the Lone Ranger television show and movies were very influential on his own Western films. This film was just stupendous. I would say, like, it's up there for me in terms of Westerns, especially spaghetti Westerns, only because it had so many creative decisions behind it. Especially that coffin scene where he pulls out the machine gun from the coffin. And just a lot of like little messages here and there, little motifs that the director liked to put in. Just like when Django goes to the cemetery, it's implied that he's visiting a close friend, family member, relative, something to keep you guessing. It just really makes the character very, very sympathetic in a way. It keeps you uh, engaged with what was he doing there? What's his intentions in the town? And just the way he's dressed is really cool. The designs for a lot of the costume work was really nice. Acting was good too. I especially love the Mexican Revolutionary General. He had so much energy. He was jumping around, and he just really added. character to the film too, because with the stoic protagonist, you gotta have a cool villain that's always like has a lot of energy. And yeah, Django Django went on to inspire directors like many directors actually. There's so many Django sequels that came out after this movie. You'd be surprised like if you mistake it for like something like there's a lot of bootlegs too. Yeah, a lot of Django bootlegs, Django sequels. It really he really it really hit the ball at the time. And later on down the line, it inspired Quentin Tarantino with his iteration Django Unchained, which is a topic for another day because that movie is it's very different from the original, but then I'd like to discuss it more in depth because I find it to be a very good western as well. But in that movie, Franco Nero does make an appearance. He makes a cameo there, which is implied that that is him. Like his name is Django, but he merely just corrects one of the characters on the verb, like the pronunciation of the name. It was a really cool inclusion of Quentin Tarantino on his part to include him on there. But yeah, this was the film Django. I had a lot of fun watching this film. It's one of my favorite westerns. Uh, I wouldn't recommend it enough. It's a very good film. And if you found this video very interesting, if you found the trivia very interesting, feel free to give me a like and subscribe, as I'm going to be discussing films every day. Every day I'm going to be dropping little short vids talking about movies, and eventually just get back on that long video format that we used to have. Spirit, we've changed our name recently. It's no longer Spirit Box. We're Lucky Duck now. So yeah, Lucky Duck represent. We're gonna be making a lot more content soon. So yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, recommend us to your friends, and yeah, I look forward to discussing future films with you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.
Django, have you all?